Vision is the art of seeing what is invisible to others. And so with that, what if Buggy is... Okay, this video today is a little bit of a change of pace. It's not a theory, but it is. I'd say it's like a what if and a theory at the same time. I say that because this is such a loose idea, and my head was just trying to solve for a big question everyone in the One Piece community should be asking themselves. And the question is, what is Buggy's red nose? And then I came to a really funny and weird answer. So to jump into this, if you're new to my channel, the way I view the world is by making connections. So let me connect you to my vision, the ParVision. When we're talking about a world with infinite possibilities and variety, it's hard to come by a world like One Piece, especially one that is always accessible in the palm of your hands. Like, imagine being able to recreate Wano by raiding legends lurking in the shadows, except this time you have the power to make sure the raid succeeds. That's where this video's sponsors come in.
Raid Shadow Legends.
You can test your creative mind against bosses that could probably 1v1 Kaido, or play against any of the millions of people within its player base at any time, anywhere, and all on your mobile device. Here are my top 3 reasons to play Raid. 1. There are over 650 completely unique champions. 2. Because of the variety, you can always create new strategies. And 3. There's endless new content with high quality graphics to keep us occupied during chapter break weeks. And this month, Raid's got a huge update, including a brand new dungeon and the introduction of Artifact Ascension. There are a bunch of new champions being added to the mix too, including some really cool holiday champions for those looking to get into the festive spirits. On top of that, there is a new legendary champion based on Ronda Rousey. Yes, the real world MMA and wrestling legend, Ronda Rousey. You can get Ronda Chase for free right now, and all you gotta do is log in and play Raid for 7 days between now and February 20th. Plus, with the special promo code RAIDRONDA, you can get a 3-day 100% XP boost, as well as in-game money and power-ups. Also, for Amazon Prime members, there are exclusive rewards available for free right now. And if you haven't started playing Raid yet, scan my QR code here on the screen, or click my link in the description, and you'll get $30 worth of unique bonuses, specifically a free epic champion named Vergis, who looks like they could be a Lunarian. Along with Vergis, with my code for the next 30 days, you get 200,000 silver, 1 energy refill, 1 XP boost, and 1 ancient shard. All this treasure will be waiting for you here. And so if you end up like Zoro and lost in the world of Raid Shadow Legends, make sure to find me with the username ParVision. You know my top 3 favorite things are making connections, theory crafting, and having a great time. And Raid Shadow Legends makes all of that possible in one completely free to play package. Be sure to check the comments and description box for all of the information. Alright, so one of the things that I've been thinking about for a while now, but especially now that Buggy is an emperor, is his nose. The red nose that Buggy has that gives him his iconic clown appearance isn't a prop or apparel, it's his natural nose. Again, just repeating, this red nose is the nose Buggy was born with, which makes sense why Buggy hates when people emphasize that part of him, like it's an insecurity. But that's weird because we have not seen any other character with a nose like Buggy's, even amongst the background characters that we were introduced to. There are some characters with similar noses of lighter colors, but nothing quite as glamorous as Buggy's nose. And a significant thing is sometimes when a person has a really significant physical trait like this, it usually gets tied to races or a tribe in One Piece. When we were introduced to Mermaids in Water 7, it was like Kokoro was a legend, but it was set up for Fishmen Island. We understood Fishmen existed from Arlong Park, but mermaids were still a new thing. Something we understood from them also was that descendants of fishmen or mermaids were great swimmers. But hold that thought, just going back to the races thing, it's not really like Buggy can be one of the missing races. I mean, if we take a look at Big Mom's Island, she says there are 3 races that she doesn't have, and we don't see anyone with Buggy's nose. And among the 3 races she doesn't have, there was Lunarians, Giants, and I'm assuming Onis? Unless we get a plot twist that Yamato is Big Mom's kid or something, which I want to put an asterisk on Big Mom not having any Oni lineage. Go check out that Oni Lin video I posted earlier. That being said, even if we were to assume that Buggy was one of the missing races, then where are they? What significance would this race play? A race of clowns or red-nosed people? I mean, if there was another person like Buggy of significant relevance, then I do have an idea, but it was a joke that I brought up in a previous stream, that it'd be hilarious if there was a specific character that had a red nose and was hidden in a silhouette, which is why we have not seen a profile of this character ever. That character being Emu. Imagine if this silhouette showed the eyes, but was made to hide the red nose, and that was a huge reveal, which is why we can't see the silhouette in a way we have seen with previous important characters. But nah, right? I do have my theories about Buggy that I'll talk about later, but to say that Emu was like Buggy and had a red nose, I don't really know about that. But so what's kind of left is that Buggy has this red nose through a manifestation of a race we know of already, or at least that's what I'm left to think given these options. So then I was thinking red nose. What has a red nose? Then I laughed and I was like, Buggy is Chopper's older brother. He's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Or sorry, Ru-D-Ulf. And so Chopper was ostracized from his family because Buggy was the older brother with a red nose instead. But anyways, that was just a funny thought. I'd actually facepalm if there was actually merit to that joke. But then again, it's like, what race could Buggy actually be? If it's not a new race and it's a race we've already seen, then what are we talking about? And then that's when I came across some key points about Buggy. See, I mentioned previously that there's a theory that Buggy has been displaying hockey to an advanced level unknowingly, and honestly would make sense given that he was on the Pirate King's crew and they knew of hockey. I think if we're being objective, it would be weirder to be an apprentice of Roger's crew and not know hockey. But that aside, rereading Impel Down and Marineford just showed how durable Buggy was, to the point even the wiki was saying Buggy has randomly absurd level of strength and durability. His improved Muggy Ball was able to nearly incapacitate an awakened Zoan at Impel Down, and then when Mihawk rebounded it at Buggy, Buggy was nearly unscathed. And the Muggy Ball situation sounds kind of similar to Crocus, for example, who was unscathed from taking 2 cannonballs from Vivi and Mr. 9. These could have been subtle displays of hockey feats that would kind of be standard for the Pirate King's crew, especially since Crocus was a fighter. But regardless, this situation low-key just shows Buggy has more defense than an awakened Zoan, which goes back to my previous video about Buggy having a mythical Zoan fruit, and so maybe the strength is due to that. I mean, he was able to catch Jinbei and Luffy out of the sky and carry them. That's pretty notable. And so then I was like, okay, maybe he doesn't have a mythical Zoan, even though he has been shown to have some pretty significant recovery too. But then I was like, what race do we know that is known to have considerable strength? And I laughed because I was like, maybe? Could Buggy be a Fishman? And I laughed and paused and I was like, nah, no way. But then again, as I pointed out in my previous Celestial Dragon video, it's not entirely impossible, right? Because of how Oda has shown hybrid fishmen to us. We see Chimney and Dellinger, variations of hybrid fishman humans. Dellinger seems to have more concentrated fishman blood than Chimney. He looks like a normal human, but has fighting fish horns as his manifestation, and is able to pull out his normal teeth to then regrow the fighting fish teeth, and I believe it can turn back to normal, and outside of that he would look like a normal human with horns. But then we have Chimney, who is 1/4 fishman, and is removed enough that she herself never even realized that significance. But something Oda clarified to us in an SBS was that when Chimney saved Luffy in chapter 403, it was entirely due to the fact that Chimney has mermaid blood that allows her to be such a strong and competent swimmer that she was able to swim in the turbulent waves we see at Enies Lobby, and also save someone. As you may already know, saving someone out of water is no easy feat. There are stories where even trained lifeguards have lost their lives due to drowning people or waves, or a combination of everything. So that being said, Oda has clarified here that due to having mermaid/fishman blood, even when it's so far removed from producing a noticeable physical trait, the logic still allows that Chimney, the granddaughter of Kokoro, to be a naturally gifted swimmer. And what's interesting is there aren't many characters in One Piece that Oda has claimed to be a great swimmer, but you know what character he did say was a great swimmer? Yeah, by now if you know me, you know where this is going. In chapter 19, Shanks is surprised by Buggy not being able to swim because he was known to be a strong swimmer. So then I laughed because, okay, Buggy is randomly really strong and was known to be a great swimmer. Given Oda, from my memory, never highlighted anyone else like this, could it be that he may be a fishman like Chimney, or more accurately Dellinger, with a single physical attribute traceable to being a fishman? And I was looking at the panels in chapter 19, and something that was kind of odd considering he ate a devil fruit is that Buggy seemed to be well underwater and says he can't move, but then he comes to the surface and gasps for air and calls for help. But if he couldn't move, then how did he do that? I imagine if Buggy was a fishman like Jack, then maybe something like this could be possible for a limited amount of time. Like, again, reiterating, it was depicted that Buggy was fully submerged in water and then somehow mustered the strength to resurface on his own. Have we ever seen that? I mean, guys, let me know if we have. So then obviously this is wacky and crazy, but then the ultimate question would be, does the red nose fit? So naturally I googled red nose animals and there weren't any, besides this baboon. But then I was like, okay, red nose fish, and then this came up. At first, given Buggy was a clown, the easiest one to think about is the clownfish. But no, this rummy-nosed tetra makes way more sense. Its nickname is literally Red Nose. Like, how many animals have that nickname? Probably none, considering there aren't red-nosed animals just walking around. So this was just an interesting thought I had. I think it makes more sense within the context of the previous Fishman Civil War video, but in general, the Fishman lineage adds a very interesting context to lineage within the One Piece world. And it's not just Fishmen like this. Minks also have a very similar lineage system, which inherently makes the humans the odd ones out here. But the minks still don't regard humans as different, just lesser minks. In our general knowledge and within One Piece, when humans have offsprings, they'll most closely resemble their closest blood relatives. Whereas with fishmen, as Den says in chapter 616, if an octopus mermaid has a child with a shark merman, that just means there was a shark merman somewhere in the lineage. Which then made me realize something, and I want to reiterate this significance, but wouldn't it be really important to look at what fish Shirahoshi was? The Poseidon legend was said to be passed on to a specific mermaid, but it didn't clarify that it had to be a mermaid of royal blood. It just says a mermaid. Now, a mermaid does mean female because a male mermaid is a merman. As an example, King Neptune is a merman, but backing up a second. So then isn't that a terrifying thought that any mermaid could be born as an ancient weapon? If you were aware of this power, then how would you contain and restrict this? So then that made me think maybe the type of mermaid is important, and so Shirahoshi is a smelt whiting fish. It's a fairly common type of fish that is heavily fished, and the rummy-nosed tetra is a school fish found in the Amazon River in Brazil, usually a pet fish. Which I'm just highlighting the significance on the kind of fish these are. And I talk about this in a different way in that Celestial Dragon's True Heritage video. To give you something to think about in that regard, if you notice that all the fishmen who tried to push for change, they were all shark fishmen. Arlong, Vanderdecken, Hody, Jimbei. In other words, fish that are usually at the top of the food chain. But if you look at Shirahoshi and Otahime specifically, they were fodder fish, with all due respect, and even Fisher Tiger was a sea bream. I wonder if Oda chose these fish types specifically to emphasize a class division in the type of fishes that are here. At this point you're probably like, oh no, we lost part of the fishes. But canonically, this could make a lot of sense because, believe it or not, goldfish like Otahime have a larger impact than you think. I mean, the Island Eater was a goldfish. Could Otahime command the island-eating goldfish? But also, what about Goldfish Empire? What? Yeah, Goldfish Empire. See, you might have forgotten that, yeah, we have fishmen and mermaids, but Oda also drew menfish and maidmers. We'll stick with manfishes for now, but in Hachi's Seafloor Stroll cover story series where Kami was introduced to us, we see Hachi return the Goldfish Princess's ring, and also she gave Hachi a golden trident. Poseidon carried a trident, I'm just saying. But anyways, what's the story of these fish? Could fishmen be hybrids of people and these man-fishes? Also, isn't it suspect that it's Goldfish Empire? Could Otahime, the goldfish mermaid, or the original Poseidon and the original royal family stem from here? I wonder if this could play into Fishman lore that we uncover in the future during the last saga. I mean, look, these fish even have an army. I wonder who they were fighting. But so anyways, it might be that the power of Poseidon is contained within the royal family. Not because it's impossible outside of it, but it might be that to be Poseidon, you have to be a specific kind of mermaid that Shirahoshi is. But overall, the implications of how Fishman lineage is passed on adds a very interesting concept that may be implicated in the Void Century. I was thinking there might be some kind of romantic element involved in the Void Century. But yeah. Let me know what you guys think of this hilarious what if theory. Again, I mainly was thinking about this because of the weird situation around Buggy's nose. So I went from Buggy having a natural red clown nose to him possibly having Fishman lineage. What an interesting possibility. I have been contemplating the idea that maybe the world all had Fishman lineage, and that might be the reason why there was something like the Void Century, so that everyone would forget that. There was a few other things that I wanted to talk about within this video, but because of my recent Moonbrain video, I know I have two competing theories regarding Voice of All Things, and those I will propose in the coming videos. And one of them does relate to this Fishman lineage theory. But before we go, I want to highlight this comment on my recent Oni Big Mom video from Blaze Kaltenba, who said, "I've always wondered why no one talks about the clowns in One Piece as a race. From the beginning, Buggy is offended over people pointing out his red nose. Then slowly over time, more clown characters who aren't clowns in any sense other than appearance, like Big Mom's book fruit user son or Shiki's crew doctor, Dr. Indigo. I would also argue Perona is an example of a female clown because of her eyes. I think that clowns are their own low-key race that a bunch of characters could be a part of. And because I probably won't make a full clown video anytime soon, I want to put my response here to it, where I do find the clown thematic interesting mainly because of Rosinante, who randomly shared the character design, and so many people have drawn a comparison of Doflamingo to Shanks, and even their proteges in Law and Luffy, and then we have the next parallel of Rosinante to Buggy. It really does make you wonder if Oda is painting a picture of two extreme paths of ideals and how to deal with society. Either you become a demon or become a clown, and all this connecting back to what story could be behind Buggy's red nose. Maybe I will make that clown video. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, like, share, and subscribe. It's crazy how my brain works sometimes because I just made a theory video and this video is supposed to be like a tier 3 video extension off of a primary theory, and it was just so much fun that it became a full-fledged theory on its own. And so, like always, thank you for connecting with me, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you all on the next ParVision.